Time. What up, y'all? Happy Thursday. I know it's late, I promise. I thought it was Wednesday, I'm not gonna lie. Even though I knew it was Thursday because I had a whole nother podcast situation going on. It's just one of them weeks, and we're gonna talk about it, okay? So grab a drink, grab a snack, roll up, whatever you wanna do, and let's go. Boom, what up, y'all? Happy Thursday. You already know what we got going on. Welcome for joining us. It's your boy Jesse, and you already know I got Courtney in the building.
I'm
Boom.
here. I'm here. Might look a little bit like I just got out of bed, but I'm here.
That's all good. If y'all saw how I was really going to be on my couch with this one, but I was like, Jesse, because I had all my recording stuff set up in my living room for something I was doing else. But yeah, got a really fun little project that I filmed this week that'll be dropping hopefully Sunday, as long as I get approval. But y'all, we're gonna just really keep it to Housewives. And although I'm not gonna lie, honestly, the Martha's Vineyard thing this last episode, yeah.
This vineyard is giving us what we need in this housewives desert that we are living in.
Well, all right, before we get into Housewives, I just want to run over two real quick topics, right? Little Miss Rihanna, she's talking about Housewives and how she feels that Kyle is. She believes that Kyle and Morgan definitely had a situation, and Kyle found her new form freedom. And then who was the other housewife she talked about? Oh, Monica. They basically said if
Oh,
what did she say? It was like Monica should be able to come back if Sandoval.
if Tom Sandoval came back, Monica Garcia should be back. And I agree with her 100%.
I mean, I feel like it's a little bit different. Like Tom started Vanderpump, you know what I mean?
Meh.
Like he's been around long enough. Monica,
Monica saved Utah.
I don't know about that, but I mean, it did. It was spicy. It was spicy. It was spicy. Spicy like Rihanna's interview cover that has most people I see are glamorizing it. Oh, please just look at Gigi right now. Oh, little munchkin.
She's the cutest in the whole wide world.
She
Look at
needs a magazine cover. That's who needs a magazine cover. I'm just
her.
sick of like it's like Rihanna, you've already done the nun thing. Like, is it really controversial anymore? Like, at what
I don't,
point? You said what?
and it wasn't, I just felt like it wasn't good either. It was kind of like
It was giving
not
that
great.
horror movie, The Nun. Like, and it's also like you're going for the Doja Cat aesthetic, which Doja Cat's already been doing that aesthetic. Like, can you just drop a song? I know. Although now I saw an interview where she was in this interview, she was talking about how she has all these visuals, but now she needs to create the music for the visuals. So I guess we ain't getting that reggae album.
That makes no sense. I thought we had an album that was basically like already in the can, just she wasn't trying to release it.
Well, apparently there was that reggae album. I'm wondering if Tyla is making her be like, no, I got to come up with something different. Just wondering.
Oh, you think so?
I don't know. I don't know. That's just my fun little.
I feel like Tyler would prime us or has primed us to be like, ooh, if Rihanna comes out with some bomb reggae like vibes, like we'll be all on that. And summer's coming, like, girl, where you at?
That's what I'm saying. But I don't know. We just getting cheesy photo shoots, and I don't know. It's so crazy to me too. Like Lil Nas X does the whole Jesus devil thing, and everyone wants to cancel him. But then Rihanna over here dressed as the nun from the horror movie, and I don't know. It's just so funny to me.
Where
Interesting.
is Lil Nas X at, actually?
He's
I see.
dropping trade singles on SoundCloud right now. Speaking of singles, though, um, I'm so irritated. I actually wish I wasn't doing the show, and I wish the reason would have been because I was in Boston this week to go see Nicki Minaj on tour because she brought all the girls out from her Super Freaky Girl remix, JT, Bia, Katie got bands, Akbar, Malibu Mitch, and she brought them out. They did a great performance. It was super cute. All that to say, JT has this single out with Doechii, and I love me some Doechii, and I love me some JT, and the song's called Alter Ego. Check it out. Love it. But Little Miss Azalea Banks, like,
Ooh, honey.
I just gotta say, shout out to Doechii, because now I'm not gonna get it twisted. Whenever Azalea goes on her story rants in her IG story, I'm down. I'll read it. There's a lot sometimes. Sometimes this be like, girl, all them little dots at the top, you just, and she writing paragraphs on each page. And I get a key out of it sometimes, but like also it's like this whole thing with her trying to trash Beyonce with the country album. It's like, girl, what? Like, we're not gonna say, how can you listen to that and not pay it respect? How can you listen to Renaissance? How can you just listen to Beyonce and not pay it respect as an artist? It's weird. It's weird. It's giving bitter. And I say that because then this Alter Ego song, it gives very 90s house kind of beat. You didn't invent that. You do a great job with it. You do. I think Azalea Banks is very talented. I love her music, but you didn't invent it. And you should be way further in your career than you are. And you sitting over here saying that Doechii and JT are the wannabe versions of you and that Doechii is ugly. It's weird. It's weird. And Doechii came back and bit back and was like, girl, it's weird. It's giving. You're out here selling like Bussy soap. And you're mad because you couldn't get anywhere in the industry. Like, you are loved by white gay men and you're always continuously bashing black women. It's weird. Weird vibes. And I loved it because I totally agree with Doechii on that one. And so, Azalea, I hope you find peace.
We're gonna put in the prayer request for Azalea Banks this week. We'll just do that.
Okay. Also, we're gonna put a prayer request in for Let's Talk About Potomac. Gia. We started with Mia, and she was talking about her man Ink. Which I'm just like, at what age? What is his real name? Can we just call him by his real name and not Ink?
I know. It's so cheesy.
And
bizarre, messy.
And him thinking, the whole thing is just strange. New York Chicken Wing said, remember when Troy Veen only said he was listening to 212 and she went completely off on him? Yeah, we're just sending. We're just gonna send prayers to her.
We just the prayer request, honey, because we can't.
No.
Navigate that kind of.
No, and again, Mia can't navigate her stuff going on in Potomac because I'm trying to figure out, like, how long have you been talking to Ink? Like, what is the real relationship between you and Gordon? Because the answers we got in this episode just were giving holy,
crazy,
just
crazy.
I
know my body. That's his son. Girl, are you sure? Because if you're so sure, then why didn't you just take the DNA test?
That's what I'm saying. Like, it's just go get a DNA test, because the fact that, first of all, you should be mad that anyone is trying to claim your kid. And especially...
And showing up to your house to try to snatch said child. Like, right. What?
And
that's crazy.
Right, because I get you being upset with Gordon for whatever that we find out next week, but it's also like, you clearly still have some respect for him. So if you really had respect for him, like, and the fact that you are parading this man around after he trying to snatch your kid, like, it's just, and his name is Ink. It's weird. This is gonna be a weird episode. And so then they said something about, like, they were talking about finances, and we find out that she got a large sum of money from her grandparents passing away, and that she didn't really understand Gordon's finances, and that he was basically not really budgeting his money that well. And this goes back to me saying that, like, this toxic I'm gonna call it city girl mentality of like, it clearly, from you making that statement, it feels like Gordon felt like he had to be the man, he had to be the provider. So you're mad that he's not telling you certain things, but do you make him feel comfortable enough to do that? And that's not her fully on her, that's also on him, because it's like, as a man, you should be able to share certain information with your partner, unless you're just with her because you were trying to buy her love and attention. And then once she got settled and the ring was on it, it was like, oh, well, now you can know all the tea. So I can
Yeah.
understand her frustration with it, but also it's like, I don't know.
They're both crazy. And I mean, it seems like he definitely was that dude that was trying to act like he was balling in a way that he wasn't really, because he knew she was a chick that comes for money.
Mm-hmm.
And so he got her on a lie. And when the truth came out, clearly she went back to ink for an extended period of time to possibly mixing up sperms and whatnot. Sorry, Gigi is now choking. But I don't know. It's just strange. And I marvel at how people are willing to put this kind of stuff about their lives out on national television.
Yeah, I mean, I will say, look, I know what I've said about Mia, but I will say Mia has put in the work because, to be honest, not mad at her on this reunion. I mean, the tea is just like muddy. Like, what do we got? What are we drinking here? But to be honest, I feel like her discourse with all of the women, and I feel like her storyline, it feels the freshest in comparison to the other side of the coach.
I mean, it's the
Um,
only storyline we got. There was nothing else happening.
I
Nobody did
know,
anything.
I know. Well, okay. Did you think it was? What did you think of the situation where Andy brought up that Gordon sent that group text message to Candace and Wendy's husbands? Do you feel like they should have said something to Mia? Did you understand when I understood Wendy's, but did you understand Wendy's and Candace's reaction back to that? Like, what was your take?
I, I feel like they did. Like, we not friends for real. I'm not going to spray you with the information that your husband is trying to spray you with, but there was no obligation or whatever to come and be like, hey, girl, by the way, your husband. Like, I probably would have just ignored it too and talked amongst myself. Like, and been like, whoa, this Mia shit is a mess.
Right. And I think, Candace being like, girl, I'm not trying to get caught up in that. Like, understandable because y'all ain't that close. Also, why are you asking that of Wendy when, again, Wendy came back with the real, like, girl, you attacked me last year. And then
Exactly.
Robin on the other side of the cut, I thought she apologized. Like, girl, you
I
ain't
would have
over
too popped her in the face. Girl, shut up. Robin,
Robin. Oh, it's like,
Robin is her. And
and
her
all,
crying about tourism. Oh,
oh no, we'll
sorry.
get to that. But and all that for Mia to say that Ink says Wendy is his favorite, which is so interesting. I felt like that was just, I didn't
Yeah.
understand that one, but okay.
Very confusing. Very confusing.
Okay. Mia and Jacqueline are cool again. They are not in a throuple with Ink.
Good for them.
Yes. And then we get to Giselle, who, I mean, rapidly has just turned me off in a complete way. And it's crazy because I was on Twitter. I hadn't watched the episode yet, but just seeing people's reactions, I thought I was going to see like a showdown. And we'll get into Chris and Giselle later because basically people were saying Chris was aggressive to Giselle. But before we get into that, she talks about Jason and her
Nobody cares.
dad. Yeah, I mean, if we're trying to make Jason a storyline, please don't. But
Please no.
then she had her moment with her dad. Candace cried. Again, to me, showing in the situation, Candace is the more authentic person. And
Agreed.
Giselle is
A
soft.
cold-hearted bitch.
And you're mad, really, because of the colorism comments. That's really Giselle's whole attitude on stage and energy is steaming off of that. Because then we get into this whole back and forth thing of Wendy saying you called my mom evil while she was in the hospital, and Giselle just never holds accountability. Like, it's like, girl, fine, okay, you didn't know that she was in the hospital. It doesn't mean you didn't say it while her mom wasn't in the hospital. Just like you're mad that Candace made a scrunch face to you while you happen to be talking about your daughter. Girl, she don't like you. It's not nothing to do with your daughter, and you're trying to make it about your daughter. Like,
Yeah.
you know Candace and Wendy are not these villainous women who are like, fuck your kids. Like, it's weird. And you're mad because you're trying to find every little thing to flip onto these women because you just don't want to say, or maybe it really does stem back to, because she did bring it up with Candace, that she had Candace's back with Monique. But then Candace says that, girl, no, you had my back because you liked me more than Monique. Oh.
Because you were jealous of Monique, girl. Stop. I can't. Giselle, like, girl, you too old for this. It just looks terrible. You look terrible. You look mean, mean for no reason. The girl literally, the entire panel of people were getting teary eyed and crying when you were discussing your father. But somehow Candace crying is not truthful or authentic or kind. And you're just mean. There's no way she's having sex with home dude because I think she would be less mean if she was getting some. Like, but she's just ugly person, coming across very much an ugly person. So all those people out there that are like, oh my God, off camera Giselle is such a great girl, such a girl's girl. She's so much fun. She's so nice. Like, I don't know where that Giselle is, but she needs to stand up right away because this one we need to put away and bury her.
No, because it's like, I mean, not that I'm enjoying Robin in any aspect of it, but it's like Robin is more tolerable at this point. Like, Giselle just, I wish we could get in her brain, or Randy could hold a torch to her and be like, girl, you got to give me something else.
Please. Like, something else.
Anything. Blow. So then we get to the colorism comment.
I'm so tired of them. I'm so tired.
I'm tired of it too. And I'm just like, honestly, Robin, I just feel like Candace put it so eloquently, talking about that she grew up being able to talk about race comfortably, and she assumed everyone on the panel was like that. And I thought Wendy followed that up really well with, what did she say about and wait, Robin said, you know, I've never been through anything like that, so I didn't know how to handle it. And I'm like, Robin, you were answering this like a white woman. Like, and Wendy came in to say that, kind of like, look, if this was a black and white situation, she was like, it would be alarmed. So to sit here and say you were never provided with the tools to have this conversation proves the point. Or that Wendy said, I think the craziest part is that, this is what Wendy said, I think the craziest part of this conversation has never turned to, I'm sorry, why do you feel that like it's colorism?
Yeah. And, you know, I'm actually annoyed that Candace even said that in terms of like, oh, I was raised in a house where we talk about race, blah, 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 blah. Because I feel like she was trying to still give Robin and them like something, like some string to not hang themselves. Like, and I don't think she needed to. I think they're both full of shit. Robin especially. Oh my God, I've never confronted this, blah, blah, blah. Girl, you are in a whole black sorority and you look like a borderline white woman. You cannot tell me that you have not had to spend time. And also it's bullshit because we saw how Giselle and Robin were behaving towards Katie in the first season when they were dealing with her biracialness and her not wanting to claim herself just as black, but as black and Jewish. And they were coming hard for Katie, like, oh, you have to claim your blackness and da da da. And they very clearly understand They're not idiots. And as these very fair skinned Black women have probably had to spend some inordinate amount of times proving their Blackness to other Black people, which I'm not saying is right and okay. And I'm sure they have trauma from it. But don't sit on this stage and try to pretend like you are so removed from the conversation around race and colorism that you have no idea how this could have possibly come up and how you can possibly navigate it. Girl, y'all are not that much older than me. Like, so we've had similar in terms of decades, like been around in the 90s and the early 2000s coming up, like whatever. You're not what it's just such it's so much bullshit, and it doesn't have to be. It's like, girl, just say it. I don't think I'm a colorist, but what was I doing that made you feel that way? Because in the end, I actually don't think that Candace is trying to accuse both of them so much of the colorism. I think that Candace is more accusing the audience and production
Mm-hmm.
of playing favorites because of colorism and
A.
making it more challenging. So, like, are some of the things that Giselle and Robin do probably rooted in colorism? Yes, but I don't think that's the major bone that Candace is trying to pick.
No, and she
But
tried to clear that up last year at the reunion. In a sense, but that wasn't good enough. But backing up what you just said, I thought it was also interesting because you're playing dumb. Because even when Naneka was like, wait, so what? Girl, and as if you didn't watch the fucking last season, like, this is why I can't watch reality TV anymore because there's no reality in TV.
no,
Okay,
absolutely.
like you gonna sit here and say, "Oh, what was colorist, girl?" You didn't do no research before you came on this show. Like it was happening coming while you was coming into the situation. And then for Robin to turn to her and be like, I don't even know. You do know. You literally could have said to her what they think or what the audience was saying or something, but you continue to choose this narrative because you don't want to touch it because it is a heavy conversation. It is a messy thing to be, claimed as such. But it's like, girl, the more you keep repelling it, the more it makes you look.
Crazy. You look
Yeah.
crazy. And I felt like Candy sitting on my couch watching this show, going, the lies, the lies, the lies. You are lying. There is no way that you are a Black woman of this age in America and you are acting like you don't know what colorism and the privilege of it is. Like, stop. Please stop.
I can't.
Please stop.
New York Chicken Wing says, and I don't even think Giselle's colorist. I think she's happy to sit back and let things work for her. With Candace versus Monique, Candace was convenient for her. Boom. Yeah.
I mean, I think Giselle just a mean asshole, and she, like you said, she sits in her privilege happily, but she also does kind of come across as the girl that will be a little irritated when things are going great for other people and not for her. And the little dark skinned girl got a whole life and a husband and a family and houses and all the things, and that's not what's happening in her life. And all her life, she's been given everything because she's pretty. So there's some pretty privilege and nonsense all up in that she could talk about or even just pretend to address a little bit, but she's acting like she's never heard these words ever before in her life. And I'm just like, okay, well, do you not speak English?
Did you not go to HBCU? Like,
HBCU, because I'm sure there was was your dad not a civil rights leader?
right. I don't know. I can't. I have 4 homes.
Oh, that had her so hot, New York Chicken Wing. Oh my God. Giselle was sitting there because that was that season. Wasn't Giselle still in that crazy house with the white microwave?
Yes.
And yeah, she was not. Yeah. And she tried to come for Monique regularly, just like she tries to come for anybody. But yeah, Giselle was full of shit. And
Full
Robin,
shit.
well, you know what? I'm going to take all of this back.
Oh,
I just had a revelation.
okay.
Robin been dealing with Juan and all of this stuff for God knows how long at this point. Maybe she is really that dumb. Maybe
Well,
she is slow and dumb that she ain't never had to think or talk about race because she's just not mentally capable of processing it. So
Okay,
maybe we
I'll give I will give you that actually because again, I just did a whole conversation about narcissist and cult mentality, and when a narcissist has you in a relationship, again, I've been in a situation where I let someone in my life who controlled a lot of who got me at a downtime, and I was dumb during the time I dated him, and he, because I was so depressed and sad, and he knew how to manipulate that. So maybe, because I always go back to that image of her in the bed and she couldn't get out of bed, and Juan was like, you know what I mean? And he does gaslight her. He builds her up, but then he doesn't show up for her. And like, so maybe this is like a Britney Spears thing. We need to free Robin.
or we need to put her under a better conservatorship
Mm.
because Juan ain't it. Like, Juan is not it.
I hope I said that right. Sorry. I in the chat says, me and Winter from BGC just talked about Candace colorism comment on Winter's live. It was about the comment that she's afraid her kids will be light skinned. I'm like, girl, you know you want light skinned kids.
Ooh, child, that's another whole. I ain't even going there. Not even going there. Not at all. Not at all.
In New York, his reply to that is, it's complicated. Baby, you sounding complicated.
Complicated. It's complicated. It's very complex. But
Uh,
yeah, as dumb as Robin might be, if I'm being real, I still don't buy the bullshit
no,
because we black
100%. We're grown, and also adults. Yeah, we're all adults. Like, we're all adults. We live in the United States. We very much understand this. And I say we because if I do,
yeah.
I would assume
Stop playing with us, wasting our time. Playing with us and wasting our time. The same way that Juan every day of your life.
Right, and I thought that was a gag when Andy asked all the guys, like, what do you think of Juan not being here? And then the shadiness of him being like, okay, let me rephrase that. Why do you guys want to show up for your wives? And I thought, and Gordon's answer 8, because it's like, if anyone didn't have a reason to be there, it would be Gordon.
Amen. Amen.
So the husbands come out. What I also thought was interesting about this episode is in the bio part, like the description, it says that NECA and Wendy get into it, which we didn't see that.
No, I didn't
and also
see that.
NECA acting like so shy is crazy to me. But I get it. I guess it's your first reunion. Okay. So the husbands come out and everything is instantly directed at Chris. And like, part of me is poor Chris, but then also part of me is like, if I was Candace and Chris or Chris, I feel like the conversation at home should have been, you know what, on Chris's behalf, I'm gonna set this one out. And I would have hoped Candace would have been like, I support that, babe. Or vice versa, like Candace being like, babe, I you know, you had a rough year last year, like, if you want to sit this one out, I'm not even mad at it. Because I just felt like, one, it was regurgitated content. I thought the discourse on Twitter was that people were saying Chris was aggressive, and they were like, the shock that a white man could be that aggressive towards Giselle. And I'm like, I personally didn't feel any of it was aggressive.
I didn't feel that at all.
It
I
sounded
felt
like
like
he was over it and actually respectful in a way of like, let's not even talk about it because she feels how
literally,
she feels. And I feel how
he
I
literally
feel.
was like, she gonna think what she think, I'm gonna think what I think, and I don't give a fuck anymore.
Yeah. And then Andy asks about these screenshots and how this woman came out, said that she had a baby by him, then retracted the statement. And
how you feel about it?
I just feel like the fact that Robin went so hard on this is like, it's just weird to me. Like, I don't know. Like, personally, I don't think. Okay, so here's what I really think about it, to be really honest. I think Robin might have had something to do with it, to be honest with you guys. Like, and here's why. Because that
Be-
Queens of Bravo on Twitter, like, is now starting to get exposed, that people think that that's actually Robin. And if that is the case, which Monique being on Salt Lake City, it's not a step above any of these girls creating a platform. Natalie Nunn does it all the time to go and talk shit on other people's Twitters. So I wouldn't think Robin's below that. So you're mad. You're mad because you keep bringing up shriveled dick, tiny penis. Like, oh, you're like doing it to purposely put a knife in. And it's
Yeah.
weird, girl. It's weird because your man's not behind you. It's weird that now you're trying to attack a man that never attacked you. I don't remember a time where Chris ever went after Robin. So it feels like you're Giselle's lapdog and you're feeding off of Giselle's energy and you're trying to spit it at this man. And you're mad that Candace called that out about Juan. So you're trying to find a way to reflect it onto Chris. And because you went way too hard on this screenshot and this text message. And it's like, girl, ain't no one listening to that. Ain't no one here for that. No one believes it. Sorry. We believe anything that comes out about Juan. You don't.
I 100% agree. There's no part of me that doesn't think that Robin had something to do with whoever that person was coming out with stuff. And I don't know in what capacity she's involved, but Candace already tried to tell us like she was contacting blogs about her in general. So I wouldn't put it past her. And she definitely seems like, because if it's somebody that like, even if you're not cool with Candace no more, at one point y'all supposedly were good friends. And you even attempted to kind of be on their team when Giselle first brought up these allegations against Chris. And you were like, Giselle, nah. But then somehow by the time we got to the reunion last year, you were like, well, it could be a little weird for a man to be up in the room, blah, blah, blah. But I feel like if you was, really about their friendship at some point, your response when all of this was being talked about would have been like, see, doesn't it feel horrible to have people talking about your man? That's how I feel. And that's what I've been going through. But instead, you are trying to push the story that supposedly has been turned out to be fake anyway, and all of us know that, but you want to keep making sure it gets said over and over and over and over again that it happened, insinuating that, see, Chris is doing stuff too. And I just feel like that's you being vengeful because you a ditzy bitch.
And because also, like, Candace doesn't give the energy that if her man had gotten someone pregnant, I just personally feel like she wouldn't be pulling a Robin Dixon.
If her man was at the nail salon with some pretty girl that he finds beautiful getting his
booking a
nails
hotel for her,
Candace would be like, oh, that's fine. She would be like, what are you doing?
yeah.
Robin. And I'm sorry, I didn't mean to call her a bitch. I'm trying to be appropriate. That's not very nice.
I love that for you, but it's giving bitch activity. And then next week you said what?
Said I'll call the behavior bitchy, but I don't mean to call a person.
There you go. Next week we have G is gonna tell his story. Apparently something that none of us may know.
Is he dying? Like, why is this taking 3 episodes to get through? Can you just tell us?
I mean, I just don't know what he could say. I mean, I'm in my mind, I'm like, is it erectile dysfunction, bro? Is it? Because then I can understand ink.
But didn't they already talk about that? Like, that had been an issue, like, in her first season?
Oh.
Maybe I made that up. I feel like that was, unless they were just saying, like, in the event of that happening, she was able to have an open relationship. But I thought they kind of talked about that when she first came on the show.
Could be. I don't know. But I'm like, I hope it's good. I hope it's good tea. I'm also interested to see Wendy and NECA go at whatever they're going to go at, which is also interesting because at the end, oh, wait. Another thing that just Giselle was, I'm just like, girl, every statement you make is always just for yourself. You never put your critical thinking hat on for anything else. Like the
Mhm.
comment when Wendy was like, I actually, about the daughters, Wendy was like, I actually said, like, congratulations on your daughter going to that school. Never happened. Never was said.
That
Lie.
was so
The
real.
lies. The lies. It wasn't on camera, so it didn't happen. Really, well, neither was Cookie Monster attacking Candace, but we know that happened. Like, why would Wendy lie about that? That's just a weird thing to lie about.
It's weird. It's
Like,
just
that's the
stupid.
story Wendy came up with on the spot. Like, no, remember when I said congratulations? That sounds like a normal thing someone would do. Oh, congratulate,
Maybe
congrats.
she was having a flare up. You know, Karen said that Giselle's got a hot box. So maybe she's in the midst of a flare up and she just was in a bad way because her energy all around is just, girl, why are you so mad? Like, nothing has been done to you. Stuff has been done to everybody else by you, but ain't nobody did nothing to you.
What up, Ronnie Jr. in the building? And I'm going to read this comment because I totally disagree. He says, I don't know, Robin is a lot of things, but another reality Von Teese doesn't seem to track. What do you think? I think it does track, and here's why. You do a whole podcast, so you like talking about the gossip. You like talking about pop culture and stuff like that. You are very frustrated with things that are happening in your life. You say Juan is not one of those things.
Child. If he ain't frustrating you, I don't know what else he doing because he clearly ain't humping you right.
Yeah, and to me, it's just giving hurt people, and I wouldn't have honestly. I've seen the Queens of Bravo thing often, which it
Yeah,
could be a couple of them. I honestly like I could see it being like Heather from Salt Lake, which is Robin from like all the like
multiple ones.
the off girls. Um, but this whole thing with Chris and the shriveled dick thing, like both times she's brought it up, were so. You want to talk about aggressive? She was really aggressive with that comment on two different occasions, and it doesn't seem right to me. Like it just something feels off. It smells fishy. I don't know, girl. And then he says, I'm actually really excited about Wendy coming back for next season. She definitely has potential.
Oh,
Um,
does she? I
I don't know.
don't know about this.
We'll see. I feel like I'm interested to see her and NECA. I'm interested to see if NECA's husband bucks up a little bit, and then we get happy Eddie gonna turn into not tolerating it. I'm interested to see what's gonna happen. We haven't seen any clips of anything that would give that, but I would enjoy it. Ronnie says, LOL, I guess Robin is always going to be a mystery. I kind of like her, though. She's naive, yet kind of fun. But I guess that's an unpopular opinion. Well, and Ronnie, we know you love an unpopular
You know,
opinion.
honey, and she's not a mystery. She is a long suffering. I'm a stick by my man, my man, my man type of girl. Like, and she just don't want to admit to it.
New York
She's
says, oh, I've seen Queens of Bravo on Twitter. I don't think it's her. That Twitter account is too clever. That's what I'm
oh,
saying. Like, you couldn't picture her and Giselle sitting at home somewhere?
well, they're not. Well, Giselle ain't even that clever either. Like
That's
she's
true.
again.
Or they know a gay, messy gay boy or somebody.
That's what I feel like. I feel like there's some kind of channel that they have probably with an account. I don't necessarily know that she's running the account.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Well,
Feeding the information. Ooh, what if she was the one like told the girl like, "Oh yeah, girl, just send these pictures," and yeah,
yeah, because it's so easy. Like screenshots and text messages at this point. Like it's like I can change any phone. I mean, Courtney could change her number to Robin and Giselle, and we could
yeah.
just start sending texts, screenshot it, and now put it online and be like, "Look at Robin, Giselle. We're talking, whatever,
Oh
saying
my
whatever."
god, it's
It
Robin's nipple on the internet.
it's
Who
that
is she with?
easy. It's that easy. And honestly, the way the bitterness on that couch was on that right side of the couch of Andy it was steeping. It was steeping.
Y'all
Wasn't
are
into it.
getting nice paychecks and they are failing at their jobs.
Well, and honestly, I've heard Bravo is failing a little bit too because I heard a rumor that BravoCon might be canceled.
Yeah, they said it's not coming back until 2025.
And I'm
They're
hearing it's
gonna.
because of budgets.
Well, I mean, the world is more expensive, and BravoCon is not a small event that
Right.
they did in Vegas. So I
We
kind of
also
get it.
got the Dubai trailer, and I
Trash.
know y'all had hope last week, but I told y'all
I
like
always had hope, but it looks so lame.
these girls are just pretty and rich. That's it. That's it. It's not gonna deliver anything because they are pretty and rich. Like they're just like, and I don't
Well,
believe that they're that connected with each other.
mm, well, at least we'll get some fashions.
But I also am seeing the Jersey stuff. Andy went on. Teresa was in an interview, and the person interviewing her was like, "Oh, did you hear what Andy said about how Jersey's not going to be able to work the same way if it's another season like this where no one interacted with each other?" And Teresa was a little caught off guard by him hearing that, like as if like, wait, I'm not getting fired. She was like, that's how all the girls are. She was like, this is what it is. And yeah, it can't. So basically in her mind she probably thinks Melissa's gonna get kicked off,
It's like,
but
oh, they're gonna get rid of Melissa. They'll never get rid of me.
yeah,
Which she's probably not wrong.
right.
I
I don't
I
know.
would choose Melissa. I would not choose Melissa over Teresa.
No, and especially if this is gonna be like Melissa versus Teresa season through the other girls by going to one house to the other, like it feels like it's gonna be exhausting, which most of the
So
Housewives franchises have been this past go around.
are Housewives over? Is that what it is? It's just not meant to be anymore.
You know what? I'm honestly, for me, it is. I think I was just having this conversation earlier today. I do think we're coming to the end. And I think it's because everyone is portraying something on camera, but they're trying to produce themselves. Versus, like, when you go back and you watch those first seasons, it was them excited to be on camera, excited to share their life, like it was them getting the kids ready for school and doing all this stuff. Now it's so much of this, like, oh, we have to have an event. Everything's an event. It's like, bitch, I don't have that many events in my life. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, it's like a party for everything just so that they can have discourse with each other, or even just because they're not really all friends. So you have to
Yeah,
create these
so they don't like
scenarios.
create places to hang out and all that. Ugh, I hate it. But I am looking. I'm still looking forward to Orange County because I feel like we're gonna get some good drama there.
Yes, especially if Vicky comes back. I love that. And Ronnie says, I think Summer House is starting to be much a better series. And that's what we talked about at the beginning.
Agreed.
Martha's Vineyard is giving it for me. I'm very excited for the next episode to see what's going on between the girls, because I like this little split we got in the house. I like hopefully it leads to a big conflict that then can have nice resolution, because I don't want it to be like, I don't need this to turn into a Potomac situation. I hope that there is resolution, but I would like a little spice, a little something.
Give us some spice. Give us some tension. Don't let what's his name, Phil, whoever the guy is from last year that got kicked out. Uh, he'll need to come back in the house.
I'm all right with that one episode. Bring him back for an episode.
I think he should come to the barbecue,
Okay, yeah, fair,
but he's
yes.
not allowed in the house. Like, he should not be allowed in the house. But I say that knowing that if he came to the barbecue, he's totally going to go into the house and cause a problem.
Yeah, like
So
I'm totally here for him to be for an event, a party, one episode, cause a little aggravation. I totally support that. I'm totally here for it. I feel like they could use that, some outsideness coming into the group, especially with this little separation of team A and B going on. What else? What else did you watch this week? Because I'm gonna be honest with you, those was pretty much the only. I'm just gonna say it because I know I haven't finished it yet. But you, Australia traitors, have you
that's
started
what
the second season?
I haven't started it yet because I had to make space to try to see what's up with Vanderpump Villa, which obviously turned out to be hot trash. So Traders is on my list.
You guys, it just keeps getting better every episode. I'm not gonna lie, like it's messy now, like
Yeah.
ruthlessly messy in Australia. The
But
first season
those
was
for
beautifully.
Australia
You said what?
stressed me out and hurt my feelings.
The first
The
one,
first season of Australia.
but
So
but
like
it
I
was
don't know if
beautiful.
It was beautiful and perfect and everything that a game show should be. But it broke. My heart was broke for that dude at the end of Australia. Like I felt him like he was my family. And I don't know, I don't have the same emotional connection with the, celebrities from the US one. Like, who cares? It was entertaining, obviously, but like, who cares? But these are like normal people. And, $500,000 or whatever the pot is a lot of money for a regular person.
No, you gotta watch the second season because the backstabbing in it is next level. Like what people were saying Dan from Big Brother was like, no, baby, you
Yeah.
should have been playing how they playing on Australia season 2.
I'm a
Okay.
Taurus. I'm way too loyal. I can't handle it. It just, oh, the darkness, the darkness.
Even for that amount of money, honey.
I don't, I would be a terrible player on traders. I would be terrible. I would be terrible because I need to, like, I'm too loyal.
In my mind, I feel like I would be good, but I don't actually think I would. I feel like it would. I feel like in my mind, I think I would be doing it right, but I would be showcasing it through my facial expressions and emotions. I
And like
agree.
backstabbing betrayal, like I can't hide being pissed. Like I wouldn't, like when Phaedra
Yeah.
still read Dan for filth, she like calmly did that. I would have been jumping out of my skin in that situation trying to handle that. So yeah, I don't have a I don't have a temperament for that.
Well, let us know what you guys think down below. What are you watching? Keep us updated. Any shows we should be watching or on the look for? Because the ones that we've been, Potomac got one more week, and then I don't know what we're gonna talk about. We're gonna really have
I
to get
mean,
on. We're gonna really have to get on our hot topics.
we're still doing the Vanderpumps, and we're still doing the Valley. Did you come back to the Valley for a third episode?
No, okay, you're right. Next week I will catch up to the Valley, and we'll talk about that. Because this week again, side note, I have a show called coming out, Guns Blazing with Julie from BGC on Sunday, and it is hilarious. But I haven't really had made time to watch a lot of stuff this week, so I will catch up on all my Vanderpumpness, and we'll dedicate next week to a whirlwind of Vanderpump and see where this Martha's Vineyard summer house is going. But if you have any other new shows, any reality shows or anything that is going
Oh,
under the radar, who?
the Freeform one.
What Freeform one?
The one I sent you about Grand Cayman with Salita Ebanks and Army Hammer's ex-wife.
Oh yeah, but that doesn't come out till. Did that already come
It's
out?
out. It's out. The first episode came on the 9th. I watched it.
Okay,
We'll
so
talk.
tell me the overall theme of what this is, though, for
I
anyone
mean,
listening.
so I feel like the trailer was like super hype, but this first episode, I will say I'm not sure I'm bought in yet. But basically, it is because first of all, it's a very big cast. I feel like they're following a lot of people and trying to keep track of everybody is like, who? Wait, huh? But basically, there's a group of expats, there's a group of natives to the island, and it's just kind of about all their friendships and friction that's kind of going on. Army Hammer's ex-wife, whose name I can't remember, is like central to some of the conflicts because apparently she was like secretly doing all of these Instagram accounts to find out all the women he was messing around with and all this craziness. And one of the girls in the group, she accused of being one of Army's women. So that kind of got messy, but then um Salita Ebanks is kind of like, I feel like she's out of place
Mm.
and doesn't fit with the cast because also the cast is like some of them look like they're like 24 and then some of them look like they're 40, so they don't seem like they actually are hanging out for real, so that's a little awkward. But then it's this one chick who married some rich man, moved to the island, had 2 babies, got divorced, turned around, met this bad boy, got pregnant, and now they just be fighting all the time and everybody hates him because apparently he's a horrible human and like he's kind of an asshole. So when he showed up, that was kind of interesting. But it is island life,
Okay.
lots of beautifulness in the water and whatnot. So it's cute. I hope it heats up a little bit better than this first episode, though. It's
Mm.
on Freeform.
Uh,
Freeform on
New York
Wednesdays.
said we had Beyonce in the title last week, but we didn't talk about her album. Oh, we just kind of
Yeah.
tapped on it that we were still into it, but I mean, I'm still
So
Country
we
Carter
did
in
it
it.
before. Yeah, it's still playing on my list every day almost.
And then if you were here, I don't know if you were here earlier, and when we was talking about, yeah, you were here when we were talking about Azalea Banks and how she came for Beyonce and all that stuff. It's like, I don't know, I just can't deal with it. Also, I'm very interested to see what's going to happen with her dropping a tour, if it's going to be towards the end of this year, if it's going to be next year, and or whatnot, or what's going on with it. But yeah, I mean, honestly, I love it. I feel like I've put a lot of people onto it in my personal life who are like, yeah, I haven't gotten into it yet. I'm like, you need to,
You
because
need
it's a
to.
vibe, especially when you're driving. I don't really honestly find myself listening to it in the house. And I feel like that's because I genuinely need to get a record player for LA, because I have one back in Massachusetts. Because I just feel
Hmm.
like the sound on a record player is going to be so iconic. And so, yeah, I'm not really like jamming out in my house to it. But when I go out, like for a walk or driving, it's my vibe, period.
Yeah, I'm definitely still full rotation, and I still listen to it just like all the way through. I'm not like
Same.
jumping around to songs. Like I feel like every time I'm playing it, if I'm driving, I'll stop. I pick back up at the same spot when I get back in the car. Like I don't skip around songs right now. I have
Yeah.
my favorite, but I
Have
still
your
need
have
to.
your favorites changed?
No, I mean I know the first song I think I text you was "Daughters" was
Yep.
my favorite, and that's still my favorite. Um, but right neck and neck is still like her and Miley, like the
Yeah.
vocals on Two Most Wanted. It's in my head right now. Like it's so good. It's so good. It's so good. And then Levi's, it's it's great. All of it's great. It's just great.
Show enough
I
show is. Let us know what song off Cowboy Carter is your favorite, okay? I mean, I'm still on. I love American Requiem and Yeah Yeah. Like,
oh
they're just my vibes right now, personally.
yeah,
And honestly, what's crazy is, I'm not gonna lie to you guys, I really did not care for the Jolene cover, and I was so excited for it. But the more I've listened to it, I'm I'm sold. I'm on it. I'm
you're
team.
the same person. We are the same person because we both were like, nah. I was like so not hype when I first heard the Jolene, and I was like, I had expectation, and it just wasn't met. But something about I kept listening, and it's good.
And
It's all good.
honestly, it really is when you listen to the album in its fullness that I feel like I respected it more, because I did the first time, and I think I just had this idea of what I wanted Jolene to sound like, because I've been talking about this for
Exactly.
years. Since ever since Dolly came out and said it, I've been talking about it. So I think I had this like heightened expectation, and then I felt all the other stuff was so new, fresh, and good, that then the Jolene was like, that literally, then when I would listen to it, I would skip that one song, and then it was
Yeah.
like it just came on in the rotation. I was like, oh, actually, okay, I'm into this.
Mhm.
I support
It's
this.
good. It's so good. It's so good. And Blackbird makes me cry. Like it just, I go through. I feel like I go through the like full emotion wheel of emotions.
And
Like
I think I
listening.
told you, I almost have this thing where it's like, okay, I actually don't always play it full, because I feel like the beginning of the album and the end portion of the album are two totally different vibes.
Agreed.
And so it really depends on what my energy is in that moment. So I find
Yeah.
myself driving, listening to the first half, and when I'm like working out or going for a walk, listening to the second half. Like, depending on what the timing of whatever situation I do. I don't know, but I've noticed myself kind of splitting them up almost into different acts themselves. But yeah, let us know what Cowboy Carter song you're listening to. Let us know what you guys thought about the Potomac reunion. If Thank you guys, appreciate you guys in the chat. Seriously, if you haven't hit that like button, or that you watching and you ain't subscribed yet, what the heck? Hit the
What is wrong with
notifications, because I'm gonna
you?
just start dropping random stuff. Like, I
Yes.
got fully high the other day on live with Julie, and we had to cancel the live. So I'm gonna upload the video on Sunday. It is
Love
funny.
it.
But I also had to like watch it back because I was like, what did I say? But it is quite entertaining. And you guys, you already know, Courtney, where can everyone follow you?
You can all follow me at Stuart Starlet. That's where I'm at. That's where I be.
Go on and say hi. And you guys can hit me everywhere at DJ Jesse J. But please go follow Next Mood Swing on Instagram, here, subscribe. And then also over at Patreon. I made a Patreon account, y'all, because
Oh,
this new little show, but it's only $1. We only gonna charge $1. That's it, because it's just tea, and it's like I just don't want that tea out there for real, like unless it's behind a little wall or something. But that's coming later down the line. We ain't gonna do that. We're gonna give you a little of the milk for free, towards the beginning. But until next week, same time, same place. Peace.